Hi, I'm Robert Zangari. I'm the author of an epic fantasy series that has won multiple awards and been on several bestsellers lists alongside the likes of Brandon Sanderson and Stephen King. But today I'm here to bring to you a Kickstarter campaign for a project that's near and dear to my heart, and that is my fantasy-themed children's thriller horror stories called Spookies. Each of these stories I've told to my kids as bedtime stories. About 3 years ago, my daughter was diagnosed with a corn allergy and she wanted a spooky corn story. So that's where When Corn Was Cursed came from. But about 9 months ago, I decided, hey, I've got 20 of these. I could just turn them into actual books. And that's when I started transcribing the first book, When Corn Is Cursed. Now, each of these stories is around 150 pages, or about the same size as a Goosebumps book or those stories in the Animorph series. They're similar in length and style, except for one thing. They're told in a limited third-person narrative rather than first-person. And I did that because I wanted young readers to get used to my style of storytelling that I use in my adult epic fantasy series. So we got 4 books here on this Kickstarter, and I decided it'd be a lot easier to do a bundle rather than individual books. Now, here they are. We have When Corn Is Cursed, Don't Go to the Mall, It Came From Under the Shed, and My Grandpa is a Mad Scientist. And for my kids, their grandpa kind of is a mad scientist. Now, part of the reason I'm here on Kickstarter is to raise funds for Lexile level grading. If you don't know what that is, Lexile level is a comprehensive grading system that assigns a number to a manuscript or book between 0 and 2000. Lexile is a 2-part grading system, one for manuscripts and books, and the other for readers, particularly students. So if a child has a 500 to 600 range, they're going to look for books somewhere within that level. So instead of saying something like, this is good for a second grader, the child that's been assigned a 5 or 600 range could actually be a 5th or 6th grader. Now, I've had a daughter that has struggled with reading, and the Lexile system has been wonderful for her to help get her caught up to her peers. So, I want Spookies to have that same kind of accessibility for other children so that they can read books at an appropriate reading level. So by backing this Kickstarter, you're going to make sure that that happens. Now, as far as entertainment-wise, my kids, who are between the ages of 4 and 13, have all loved the stories. In fact, even the 2-year-old has gotten to the point where she's saying, Daddy, tell story. But even the adults that have listened in on the story time have enjoyed the tales. So, if you're an adult who likes reading Goosebumps or children's chapter books, these will be right up your alley. And hey, I'm one of those people. I had read Goosebumps and Animorphs to my kids, and I thoroughly enjoyed each of the stories, going back through them now, 30-some odd years later. So, what are we offering here on this campaign? Well, we got 3 main tiers. The first is the digital bundle of each of these 4 books. And then there is the paperback edition that has these versions you're seeing here on screen. And then the third is the hardcover edition, which I will not be releasing at retailers. I'm going to make that exclusive to Kickstarter. Not only that, but there are going to be a limited number of spots, 78. Why? Because that's 3 times the amount of the alphabet. And why is that important? Well, if you've backed any of my past campaigns, you know I like to number things. I number paperbacks and hardcovers. But for Spookies, we are going to do lettered hardcovers. That means your books will be numbered or lettered A and then B if you're the second backer. Once we get through the first round of the alphabet, it would be AA and then BB. And on the third round, you'd be AAA, BBB, all the way up to triple Zs. Now, this campaign is going to be short and sweet, but that's because the stories are done and they're edited. So that means by the end of this campaign, which will be before the end of July, you'll be getting your books in ebook format. And then I'll be shipping out the paperbacks and hardcovers once they arrive to me, which will probably be August or early September. Now, I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you join me on this Kickstarter campaign. Let's go read some Spookies.